Oh, that was fucking gross. I'm sorry, guys.
Groovy, baby.
Oh my.
Huh? We're over here tapping in with KWJT, Puget Sound from space. I'm over here with Corey. You're tapping in with Tavares and sliding with Solana.
Man, you already know what the fuck's going on, man. Whole lot of groovy shit up in this house. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Groovy Gang. It's really good to see everybody. I hope everybody's been having an amazing week. Before I get started, like always, I just want to go ahead and shout out Tranquil Forest, the Groovy Gang as well. You guys have been showing us tremendous amounts of love. So continue. We appreciate it. I know for a fact everybody in the room appreciates it. So without further ado, I would like to introduce episode 44's newest guest, Artspration.
Welcome. How are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah?
How are y'all?
I'm good. Recovering from yesterday, but good.
Absolutely recovering from yesterday.
Saturday was a long day for us, but we're here. Fucking, it's gonna be a good interview. I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask about your art history, because you're an amazing artist and you do a bunch of different mediums, which I think is really dope. And as an artist, it's probably like really hard to like transfer from painting to digital art to like constructing and even doing it in like clothing. So I want to know, like, where'd you get your start in the art world?
Well, I've always been drawing since I was like really little. Like my mom would buy me hella notebooks and I would just like scribble all over them, and then that kind of transitioned into like, if you look back at like all my homework assignments and every like school, like all school paperwork is like filled with doodles literally all over, because low-key was like the only thing that would like help me concentrate while I was in class.
Yeah.
And then that kind of like, once I got out of high school, I taught myself how to paint. Actually, dope. I think I was in like sophomore year in high school, and then I taught myself how to paint.
Wow.
Because before then I was just like drawing with regular like pencils and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let me like just see how this goes. And then I started off with like dabbling into like oil paints and acrylic, and then acrylic just stuck as like my favorite form of like painting, or my favorite paint type. And yeah, so it's basically all self-taught.
Oh,
I didn't go to school for it or anything.
Oh, that's fire.
And then, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Hell
that.
yeah, nah.
Real early. Not that ring.
I just like the ability to draw is like so amazing to me, just as an individual. Like I love Takashi Murakami and like
me too.
Yeah.
Fire. Literally one of my idols.
Yeah. Like I literally I've said this a bunch of times on the podcast, but we planned a Japan trip, and that was kind of my focus reasoning, because I just like I don't want to say I discovered him, but I just started learning a lot more and more, and he just became such a focus. And I was like, all right, fuck it, we got to go to Japan, because I got to either meet the nigga or I need a flower, one or the other, and I'm not trying to pay like shipping prices or StockX prices. So I was like, right, we got to go to Japan. What about him influences you, or what do you really look at?
I think just the way that he can collab with so many different types of people and just create things off the rip.
Yeah.
I think I really admire that. I think as an artist, I know that he has a very specific style, and I always appreciate when like people have found like their style.
Yeah.
I feel like as an artist, I'm still discovering what the hell that looks like for me, and I recently just started like trying to figure out what that was, and so I went back to like the basics. I was after I was painting, I started doing digital artwork. Taught myself how to run that shit, and
That's
was
crazy.
doing portraits and stuff. And then I was like, this isn't really feeding my creativity. Like, I can recreate an image, but there's not much creativity behind it. It's just like, okay, she can pay attention to detail, but like, what else? You know, it's not really portraying who I am as a person, as an artist. So now I was like, I need to go back to the basics. So I was like, let me go get some paint, some canvases, and I just started painting. I call it like moving from the heart and just creating things as if I was a child.
Wow.
And so I started painting with like my left hand and stuff because my right hand was very detail oriented. So I was like, let me use the left one because I have literally no control over what's gonna happen. And I ended up making some cool ass shit.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch. I recreated a bunch of like my childhood memories and stuff. So that was really liberating for me.
Damn. That's fucking amazing. To just push yourself and just to find new creativity and new ways to like discover who you are as an artist. That's really dope. That's fire.
I feel like we're constantly like reinventing, or at least I am. I'm constantly like reinventing who I am. Because, you know, growth is like the only thing that's constant. Or, I mean, change is the only thing that's constant.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got to keep up with the times and myself. You know, I got to adapt myself even with art. Like, I got to adapt that to where I'm at currently.
Yeah.
Drink some water.
No worries. First and foremost, I want to thank you for popping up on us.
Yeah, thank you for
coming
having me.
on
It's an
over
honor,
to
y'all.
to the podcast.
Very mutual.
Second of all, happy Pride. You know,
Yes.
I want to like tell the people at home like this is actually our first queer artist on the podcast, so we want to highlight you and thank you for coming through and like breaking that wall for us because for being a platform, we're here to like uplift the voices, especially in the Washington community. So we like came together as a team. Also, shout out to Gina because Gina
That's
put us
my
on.
sister. I love Gina.
We love Gina.
Shout out Gina.
So
Gina, we love you.
yes,
And,
Gina.
and Zaza.
And Zaza,
Shout out
yes.
to my nephew.
So yeah, thank you for coming through and basically representing a part of the community in Seattle that is really they've been putting on for just the arts in general and representing Seattle in the best way possible. I kind of wanted to get to know like the origin of Artspration, like where you come from. So like what neighborhood did you grow up in?
Ooh.
Or are you from Washington?
Okay. It's kind of complicated.
We got the time.
So I was born in Honduras, and I've been here since I was 4. And so I came here originally to Seattle, and then when my parents split up, they were like, "You need to pick which parent you're going with," and I was like, "Well, I'm going with my mom, duh." And so my mom had family, her sister in Charlotte. So then we moved down to Charlotte because, you know, she had family there. And then after that, we moved down to Biloxi, Mississippi, and then back to Charlotte. And then my mom was like, well, I want you to be close to your dad and, like, in close proximity. Because my dad was taking flights to visit us often, and I was like, yeah, that's probably getting expensive.
Yeah.
And so then, she decided to move us back to Seattle. And then that was when I started middle school. So I went to middle school. I went to Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we got Hamilton up in the video.
I'm dead. Yeah, I went to Hamilton, and then went to Ingram. But I grew up basically the whole time in Ballard, but I was never there. I literally hated Ballard because I was like, it's just a whole bunch of old white people here. And so like I was always all over the place hanging out with my friends and shit. Never ever in Ballard. It was to the point where I didn't even want to go to Ballard High School. I was like, I purposely went to Ingram because I was like, there's a larger, you know, BIPOC demographic there than versus Ballard. And Yeah, so I kind of grew up like
Everywhere.
all over the place. Yeah, deadass. I think I changed schools like 7 times when I was in elementary school.
Damn.
A lot, yeah. And I feel like that. I mean, while it caused me probably to have like hella bad anxiety because I was like constantly having to like transition. But I feel like it also, like there's the good with the bad.
Yeah.
And the good that I took out of that was learning how to adapt really quickly in situations. I learned how to be really social, I guess, because I had to be.
Yeah.
I consistently had to make new friends, so I guess that's the good that came out of that.
Do you think all of that transitioning, like to and from different cities and states, then transitioned into your artwork somehow, and if so, how?
That's a good question. I think the way that I've been implementing that has been, I guess, transferring like the memories that came from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was explaining earlier how like I went back to the basics and painting like as if I were a child.
Mm-hmm.
So reliving the memories through that.
Yeah.
And the next part that I'm supposed to unravel for myself
Mm-hmm.
is that time frame where I was transitioning a lot and like moving a lot. So I guess that's how it translates onto a canvas.
Mm-hmm.
It's just by memories.
It's really fun.
That deserves it.
We give out hand claps all the time, so please get used to the applause.
Yeah, we don't have like horns or nothing. You get claps.
Keisha do.
I wanted to ask about the forming of EIQ and just having working as a partnership and creating a clothing line, and what does that mean to you, and like how does that feel?
Oh, my favorite part. I love clothes. Like ever since I was little, like I've always loved clothes. And let me start from the beginning. Well, my mom back in Honduras, she was a seamstress.
Oh, fire.
So my mom was dipped all the time. She was fly as fuck back in the day. So she used to make all her clothes. Always had like, all the gold chains, all the gold rings. Yeah. And so growing up, kind of like my inspiration for some of the things that I wear now is very much so like childhood fits. Like the shit that I saw my mom wearing, or the fabrics, the patterns that she had. The fits that she would put me in. And sometimes I'm like, for example, like with denim, right? I fucking love denim. And then I'm like I just bought this one like vintage like denim jacket, and I was like, whoa, I feel like this is childhood right now. And then I was like, damn, I'm just like my mom. Literally, when I buy some shit, I'm like, this is some shit my mom would buy. But so anyways, given that background, always loved clothes. I've always wanted to know how to make clothes. So like I feel like at some point I'm gonna teach myself that too. But the way that I formed EIQ is like, well, I love clothes, so how can I incorporate who I am as a person into something that people would wear? Like I wanted people to connect through my clothing line or through the brand. And EIQ stands for Emotional Intelligence Quotient.
Okay, I didn't know how to say the last word. I looked it up, and I even had Google like say it for me, and it wasn't hitting on Google. So
it wasn't hitting. Yeah, and so I'm the type of person that I am. Like I value emotional intelligence like a lot. I'm always consistently trying to better myself, and be aware of my behavior or how I'm interacting with people, not on some like OCD shit, but more so like how can I extend kindness, how can I be kind to people, how can I be more understanding, and so I feel like the more drops that we have, the more that's going to reflect. Like the first one was extend kindness, and people were fucking with that. Like
you guys went crazy on the sweatsuits and the long sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna gas myself. Yeah.
No, I see it as
Gas yourself up.
No, this is literally the place where we like celebrate every like you can gaslight yourself as much as like
Not gaslight.
Not gaslight. Sorry. Gas yourself up as much as you want.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. Those sweatsuits, fire. Like, I designed the whole shit. Like, I made the sizing chart. I chose the materials. Like, those weren't just some shit that you could go buy. Like, I had somebody, like, specifically make those for me.
Oh, fire.
All the way through. And so, yeah, that's my baby. Them shits are so comfortable, for real.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I would have brought one for y'all to feel today because they're so fucking comfy. And people were asleep on them. People, I was like, look, pre-order these. And then once everything came, people were like hitting me up like crazy, like, yo, I need your sweatsuit, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't really have much here because I told y'all and y'all slept on me and now you're going outside.
It's really interesting to hear that because I've been figuring out that like here in Washington, like our community kind of has to see things before we have our faith in it. Like, and it's, you know, it gives us room to like create really cool shit, but it also like, you know, you kind of want to like, it's not false faith or anything. It's just like, yo, believe in your peers. Like you have the history, support your homies, support your homegirls. Like this is, you kind of have to like have that sense of camaraderie amongst our community because we're the ones who uplift each other. I wanted to ask you, being so involved with your brand, does that make it a little bit more intimate for you?
That's my baby.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, sometimes it's crazy that I can't even believe where I'm at with it. Like, I have to step outside of myself sometimes and I'm like, whoa. 2-3 years ago, I would have never imagined, like, starting a clothing brand. I wanted to, but I was like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to get there. And then I just went on a whim and did it. But, yeah, it's very personal to me. Yeah, I feel like I'm expressing who I am through the garments. And I know people may not see it that way, you know, because it's my baby.
Yeah. But
that's really what it is for me. It's like when I see people wearing my stuff, I'm still shocked. I'm like, oh, is this real? Like at Fremont Fridays, like I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, everybody pulled up in their sweatsuits. And I was like,
fire. Oh,
that's love. Hella people had their sweatsuits on. It's like, that's tight.
I wanted to ask about getting your brand in stores in Minnesota. Is it Minnesota?
Yes, Minneapolis.
Some
is
M.
That's
it's one of the
I'm
M's.
terrible.
That's in Minnesota. That's in Minnesota.
I was like, I knew it's an M-I something. I was like, let me just shoot in the dark. As a creative, like, what does that feel like to have a brand outside of your home state, like, accept it and like push it?
So my homegirl Sakina lives out there, hella sweet. She was the plug for that, for real, because she was like, hey, like, I'm really close to the owners of this store, and after they saw me post your sweatsuits, they were like, how can we get, you know, their merch in our store?
Yeah.
And then they reached out to me, and I was like, whoa. Every time something like that happens, I'm still shocked. I'm like, whoa, okay. It feels amazing. Yeah. They placed a big ass order, and they're about to have my stuff in their store outside of Washington. Like, that's fucking dope. And I'm like, this is just the beginning. So, like, I'm so excited to see, like, what comes to fruition out of this. Yeah. You know? And that's crazy. I'm about to have people in Minneapolis rocking my shit.
Yeah. You just get pictures on, just get tagged in random, like, cities that you've never been in. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hand clap for that.
Yep. Fucking read my mind.
We out of state, y'all. We out of state.
As a streetwear kid, how does it feel to have your brand kind of bring little homies back? Because no no one's really touched it in years, and you guys are the first brand.
Would you?
I don't smoke.
To bring it back in a really fun and cool way, like support your homies and like as a nostalgic person, like what was that feeling like getting in those archives and
Hella cool. Well, I used to collect the homies when I was little. You know when they used to have them in those like big gumball machines?
Yeah.
25 cents.
come on.
25 cents. I'm like, I wish I could find them again. I probably could online, but like I want to start a little collection, just have them on a shelf. When I was little, I used to want all of them so bad. But yeah, like coming back, I was like, I remembered the homies, and I was like, how can I incorporate this into some gay shit? Because I was like, it's Pride Month, and I'm trying to be creative with the stuff that I make, because all the Pride merch that I've seen, it's like very corporate, you know, like the shit that Target be having and shit, like Love is Love 2021, like at least hire gay people to make this shit, you know? Like you could have some fly shit in your stores, but y'all don't be hiring people. But yeah, so I was like, how can I make like some cool shit that's gonna be fly?
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was really cool. I was like, I brought a piece of my childhood into my current self. You know, homies, gay Tanya.
That's fire.
It's tight.
That was really cool. No, I was just like, I just really liked the collaboration. I thought it was really dope.
I think it's amazing when things like that kind of go full circle. Isn't it like interesting when like you kind of grow up with that like unknown certainty of like, oh, what's going to happen with what I'm doing? And then like later down in life, we're all like sitting in a room talking about what we've been doing.
Literally.
That shit's mind blowing. I wanted to talk about like future goals and aspirations, just in a brief moment, and like where do you think you're going with what you got going on in the near future? Just a
future goals. Definitely get EIQ into some more stores. Shit. You know, I haven't really thought too deep into it. I just know that I want to transition and have EIQ pop off to the point where I can provide myself strictly off that. So like that's a huge goal for me. I want to be self-sufficient in that way. So probably just learn the business end of it, so that everything is, you know, set in stone, so I'm not dealing with Uncle Sam and shit, like making sure all the legal shit is like in place so that EIQ will have no problems and it'll just flourish. So yes, having EIQ pop off is really my goal within the next couple of months, years. I'm like, within 3 years max, I need to have a collab with a shoe company. I love shoes too.
yes.
I fucking love
It's
shoes.
going crazy.
I fucking love shoes, so I'm like, we need a collab with New Balance, Nike, somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're gonna get it.
New Balance would be crazy.
New Balance has been popping off.
What's your earliest shoe memory?
So when we lived in Honduras, my dad was here first, and so he would send me like tracksuits and shoes back home, and
Dippy.
I think I might have the picture.
Real Dippy, what the fuck? Dad was really sending packages back back in the day. What?
Man, my dad was dressing like a fucking gym teacher when he was here. He had all the fly sweatsuits and shit. So
That's really
I guess
crazy
I pulled
because if you grew up in Seattle, you know all the gym teachers were fucking fly.
fly as fuck.
Like
for
what?
real.
Why are they coming so cool like that at school? Like
Shoot.
my whole fit is like $15.
I don't know where the picture is. I swapped out the shoes on here, but I recreated this picture of me and my mom.
That's beautiful.
She had me dipped out in all denim and some shades and shit. But originally there was like the Nikes in here were like white and blue high tops. I don't know what type of shoe they were though. But I remember I used to fucking love those shoes.
I wonder if they were like old school dunks.
Maybe. I don't know, but I'm sure it was like some old school like basketball shoe.
That's fire. My dad was really heavy into Jordans. So every week as a kid, he would just go buy whatever they had. So, as a baby,
I mean, he made
enough
the
money.
sneaker culture pop off.
Yeah, so he would just every weekend he would just go grab some sneakers and just be like, all right, here's the whatever, and me and my older brother would just get it. So it was dope to be like a spoiled
You
kid.
were dipped.
For that little brief stunt in my life, that was like those sneaker girls. I have a picture of my mom holding me in some like 14, like maybe some Seattle color 14s.
Oh, shit.
And like a little bucket hat, and it's just like this little baby that just didn't know shit about sneakers, but like had some really cool sneakers on. So
Just dip.
shout out to the parents.
For real. With the bucket hat, though. With the bucket hat. Real fresh, baby. Yeah. I think whenever we choose to have a child, that baby's going to be fly as fuck. Period. With all the custom shoes and shit.
That's gonna go. Maybe mom's shoes. That's the goal, to have a bunch of just like pair of your shoes with the baby.
That'd be crazy.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy for real. That'd be tight.
We're speaking it into existence.
We are. And we're finna bleep that out because we know you guys be sliding on the pod, picking up all the game. Too much game.
I wanted to ask if you were paying attention to the NFT boom, and like as a digital artist, were you like watching how that was working?
No. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna tell you something about myself. I fucking hate technology. Straight up.
Me too.
Like, no, that shit is too much. I feel like, you know how old heads used to be like, oh, well, I'm not messing with that. That's too complicated for me. That's where I'm at now. I'm that old, and I'm only 25. I'm like, I'm not trying to learn how to make TikToks, none of that shit. NFTs, somebody told me about them, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy, because I still don't understand. And I still don't understand. Kind of, but like, I looked into it a little bit, and I was like, damn, I gotta pay $200 just to put my shit up here.
Oh, damn, there's a fee? I thought they just...
Bruh, they call it gas. So, like, it's like paying for gas for your artwork to make it to the platform. I'm like, y'all are scamming, first of all.
Damn.
I mean, it's one of those things that it's like, you literally have to have money to make money. Because I'm like, what? I have to pay $200 per piece?
Yeah.
Just to put it up and not even be guaranteed a sale.
Yeah.
I was like, I work too hard for my money.
Exactly.
But like right now, I'm like low key taking a break off of art and stuff. The only, I guess, art that I'm making and primarily focusing on are designs for EIQ.
Oh, nice.
That's all I'm
you're
focused on right now. Yeah.
What's it like working with Lex and having that, working with your creative director on those things?
It's tight because she's there to give me a lot of direction with stuff because I'm really indecisive. So I just make the shit and she's like, yay, nay, do this, do that. So I'm like, yes, that's the direction I need. And Keisha's our operations manager too. So we all involved in it. But yeah, working with Lex Nicole is dope. I really appreciate her creativity, her taste. She got taste.
Yeah.
And I like that because I'm not going to have somebody who doesn't have taste on team.
Yeah.
She's fly. So I trust her when it comes to, like, everything that has to do with EIQ. Like, she really is really talented. So it's an honor to be working with her, essentially. Like, it really is. I was talking to her initially about it, you know, and I honestly didn't even know if she would be willing to work with me. And when she did and agreed to it, I was like, oh.
That's amazing.
Because she's a goat in so many ways.
Yeah, and I don't even think a lot of people, at least here, like really realize that like Lex is really dope and just so creative, and that I'm really a huge fan because Lex really, as far as like a creative director and a photographer, really pushes that needle of like really like wall art, fine art to me. Like anything, most of the things that she has shot, I would have in my home or should be in everybody's home. So it's like, it's really dope that I feel like that synergy through the company. Like even as a fan of you guys, just watching from the outside looking in, I could tell that it looks really fun. Like it looks like you guys get a lot of work done and really push your creative boundaries. So I think that is really dope.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. To go back to your point about like her creating fine art, I definitely agree. I was telling her like I really appreciate your work because it's very storytelling. Like every picture she takes tells a story, you know? And I think that's so beautiful because yes, I can appreciate regular photography, but something about the way that she portrays people is just fire.
I always feel like she finds a way to bring you into the moment, whatever whether the black and white she recently posted, it felt like a classic movie. Like it felt like a still from something that we were about to go into. Is just something like really beautiful. So I'm a huge fan of just the way Lex can just take you into her world and just like show you the creativeness.
We're fans, Lex.
I'm giving all that already. I'm riding my ears today. I don't even know why. Let me turn.
If you didn't know, go watch that motherfucking episode with Lex Nicole. All right, you watching this far with us with Artspration, go watch that episode with Lex Nicole. You already know. Have you now that we're getting into the motion of post-pandemic, are we guys? I don't know.
I don't know.
Are we
here? America. We didn't stop for we stopped for three or 4 months, like countrywide, and it's kind of just been open sporadically, random, depending on your governor.
Right.
Very true.
Yeah, people been outside.
No, I just wanted to get the room's like feelings on how it's been moving or navigating as creators through what had happened this past year and a half.
I know a lot of people definitely like struggled in the beginning because, you know, the way that we were originally operating it's like there's just so much transition that happened. Like the way that the world operated before the pandemic is like different now.
Yeah.
Like we had to make so many adjustments, and I feel like a lot of creatives were definitely like hit, you know, not just creatives, but since we're talking about creatives.
Yeah.
But I have seen a lot of people, they use that time to create or reinvent themselves or create a new avenue for things. And some creatives, they're like, I've seen brands, like their shit flourished during COVID. So like, there's just so many different like stories, right? Like some brands popped off during COVID. Other people went and started something new, and then that popped off for them.
Yeah.
But personally, I think it made me like reconsider what I wanted to do for real. I was like, well, I mean, EIQ was technically born. That's a COVID baby. So yeah, I feel like that like pushed me to do it because I'm like, whoa, I need some money. But I also need to express myself in a different way. But yeah, it was hard. I feel like emotionally it was really hard. It took a toll on me for sure. And now I feel like I'm kind of getting to a better place, but like not to be all sad and shit, but bitches definitely were depressed. And good things that came out of it was it forced me to start therapy, and it's going well. I found a dope-ass therapist. If you have the means, I highly suggest seeking therapy. I think everyone would really have some great takeaways if they went to therapy. There's so much stigma revolved around it, but I feel like it is so great. Yeah, that's what happened with COVID.
How about you, brother, since you asked the question?
I think I've been mentioning it to you and Solana, but I really feel like there's a renaissance going out here in the Pacific Northwest. I am truly privileged and thankful to just be around in the space and see with everybody going on. And you're right. I think we need to open up the conversation about how hard it was last year, what we went through as a people.
Right.
Because beyond just it being the creatives, I mentioned that because we find self-sufficiency in being creative, and yet the creative industry, entertainment, what we do, we form the world, we're not paid our dues. So it kind of hit a little 10 times harder. I don't know, because I seen it in a lot of people's faces and just being around talking. So it kind of created this shift in this the struggle that we went through. But what you said was perfect. Everyone has, I feel elevated in some form of way. They're kind of reconsidering what they got going on, and they're making that decision, because before we weren't too decisive.
Right.
We were years go by and we're man, we'll do this next month.
Eventually.
We'll do this, next year. So now I feel so many people are waking up today and they're I'm going to do this shit now. I'm about to go and get it. And it's infectious, and I think it's beautiful to see, especially in our community, because growing up out here, people don't realize it's harsh. There's a lot of people there's all the stigmas. We're trying to be so progressive, yet we don't live in a city that's not, so just factoring all that together, I think it was the worst yet best thing possible that happened.
I love when you get ISO and you would somehow bring it back to say fuck gentrification. At some point in all of it, he always has a speech and it always comes back to he always does.
That's the foundation.
I love it
Because I just feel sick in my bones being on Henderson, and I just see fucking white people walking their dogs and shit, and they literally used to say in Seattle Times Rainier Beach is the worst visited fucking neighborhood in fucking Seattle. So it's or they would have the same thing about Burien, SeaTac, just anyone and everyone south of the way, east south of the way, just the diverse neighborhoods in general. And then now they want to be here, and you motherfuckers ain't funded not a
property value.
goddamn thing. Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, yeah.
Let's
I
not even
apologize.
start talking about red zoning.
No. And they're all in the city
What
now.
episode was that?
It's crazy.
We was talking about red zone, and oh my goodness.
Probably with Jason.
Yeah, now they're all in the CD now. Personally, as a creative,
Yes, please answer. I'm sorry. I was going crazy.
Sick in the bones.
Sick in the bone.
It's been, I don't know, COVID. COVID taught me to adjust. As you were saying, it really forced. I guess this is a COVID baby, technically.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It really forced. It forced whatever I thought I was gonna do this year, because 2020 would have just been vacations. I was we going out of the country. Fuck, we did a bunch of local domestic trips. We were fuck it, we out of the country. Yeah, that's all next year. All 2020 is just flights. And then I was like, nah, and the world ended, and everything I thought got fucked up. So I ended up being able to look at what I was doing and being like, all right, what's actually a cool creative thing, and what are things that I should let go. And it's been like a weird balancing act of like dealing with what's going on in the world and dealing what's going on in life, because last year really taught me is like you have no control over any worldly things, and this world is fucked. Like if it's really fucked up, and like I knew this as a 21-year-old at the time when like COVID started, but like it really like.
Wait, you're only 21.
23.
Wow,
yeah.
what the heck?
Yeah.
You're younger than me. That's crazy.
We're all 23.
But he's about to be 24 in 2 weeks. So.
Wow, I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you.
The hell?
Oh my gosh.
Y'all are some boss ass 23-year-olds.
Stop. Yeah.
We need a clap for that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But yeah, it like for me, it just showed me like nothing's guaranteed, nothing's given, like, and the world is fucked up. Governments are just ass, and like across the board, and just like the world's on fire. And if you didn't,
in the U.S. government is very trash.
oh yeah, I still have the images of the nigga throwing paper towels, and that's just that's what I just think about us as like what 2020 was just like
A shit show.
a shit show. It was just like
Dead ass.
yeah. So like sitting here now, it's like really dope to be on like kind of the other side and have seen so many people that like didn't know where they sat in life, kind of like have decided like, nah, I like this shit. I'm gonna figure this shit out in all like creative and business, and like even like socially, like I feel like we as an age group, our generation kind of been like, all right, like fuck everybody. Like we got to go back to what they were doing, going outside and really pressing issues and really like showing that, yeah, as a youth, we don't really vote, but you kind of like gave us a bunch of reasons to vote and a bunch of reasons to pay attention to what's going on in the world. So like, I think that is dope. I think it woke up. You can't really say you didn't know about anything anymore. You can't like, oh man, I didn't like, no one can play dumb on like social issues or like just regular paying or just like even being an artist. You can't like, nah, last year was fucked up for like, if you were an artist, so you got to pay me this because like I spent that year getting better. Like everyone had a year to get better. So if you got better, your price went up, and you now know like you can make that demand because like we all watch the world happen, and we watch people get creative and work hard and just get their shit off the ground and really push their lines. So I think being in the summer of 2021, just being like, all right, there's so many beautiful things happening. I wanted to ask you about how was your pop-up last week? One of the things that is amazing happening in the city.
Oh, it was so good. Queer trans pop-up. It was amazing. First of all, VietQ, shout out to y'all. They were amazing organizers. They made sure everybody was fed. They got us bubble tea. We had waters. They had canopies, tables, and chairs for everybody.
Oh, fire.
Then organizers don't be doing that shit.
No.
They be like, BYOT.
Yeah.
Literally. And so I was already like, yes, I love y'all already. Got there, set up. Everyone who came through literally was there to monetary support all the vendors. So I really appreciated that, you know, because I've done other, you know, events where I'm like vending and people don't really go there to buy stuff. They'll go to like kick it.
Yeah.
But everybody that came to this one was like, no, we're going to spend money. Literally, all the vendors made a good grip of money.
Oh, nice.
And with like EIQ stuff, I had brought like all the long sleeves that I had, any leftover merch I had, and I left with like 4 or 5 pieces.
Hell, come on.
Yes. It was to the point where people were like, well, that's not even my size, but I'm going to cop that. I'm like, okay, shoot, I see y'all. You better rock that 2XL as a dress. Yeah, it was really tight. And, like, I had the opportunity to, it was literally our first pop-up. So I had the opportunity to speak on the brand to people because everyone was like, yeah, Q, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's this, and that. This is what our mission is, and blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, it was really cool to connect with people on clothing, you know, because, like, I had done it before, but through, like, visual art. And so now it's like, here's my other baby. And it felt really good to just talk about it with people. And people really appreciated the merch. They were eating it up.
That's fire. Shout out.
Yeah, that's all the energy we need from now on.
Period. If
Pull
you
up
go,
to these pop-ups and
yes,
pop it. That pocket.
Don't come
Sorry,
if
I'm
you
not-
broke. Period. You better come to monetary support vendors.
Come on.
At least buy one thing. Buy a damn sticker off them. Some shit.
Come on.
But yeah.
I wanted to bring up the Simpsons piece you did because that's probably one of my favorites. Just because I love cartoons. So I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite cartoon and why? Or do you watch cartoons?
I love SpongeBob. All my life references are from fucking SpongeBob, bro. Literally. There's a SpongeBob reference for every living moment.
Oh my god.
I quote SpongeBob all the damn time.
The Bob.
The Bob. What else? I used to like Family Guy when I was younger, but now I'm like, this shit is problematic as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seth don't do it for me. Like
Yeah.
Seth used to do it for me back when, same age, yeah. Back when it, middle school, back when it was like, it felt wrong to watch it, and then you learned that it was like,
It really was.
it was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really watch cartoons. I like anime though. Like I've been trying to watch some more anime. My introduction to anime was Spirited Away.
Classic.
Come on.
Very classical.
No Face.
yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we got the
yes.
custom
oh
tail
my
bar.
The
goodness.
iconic custom bag.
Wow.
You saw it,
Should I put it on the screen?
Yep, we gotta flex that one.
I think Spirited Away got me into my chunky phase because food just looks so good in that movie.
First of all, what the hell? I wanted to pop in there and eat everything.
I was there for eternity. No cap. I'm not gonna lie. I got stuck.
I would have been one of the pigs. I'm not gonna lie.
I got stuck. Like
I would have gotten 8 at the end of it, but yes, you see that. Remember?
talk to him. Tell Feezy.
Yup.
You already know what's going on.
But yeah. And then I watched basically Studio Ghibli. All their movies. What's the one? Graveyard Fireflies. What's the name of that one?
I don't know. I don't watch.
You're testing
anime.
me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
You
watches
are
anime.
testing me. I don't.
The
Well, anyways,
homies gonna
it's the
pull
one
his
where
card.
they were like, it was like the Japanese bombings and stuff.
Oh my god.
First of all, I cried.
That's the sleeper one.
It was so sad.
I'm
But
not
yeah.
gonna cap. I've only seen Spirited Away and House Moving Castle.
Oh, I love Howl's movie.
Yeah.
I love that one too. And then yeah, I watched a lot of other stuff, but I can't think of it right now.
Oh, no
Well,
worries.
it's good money.
I always
It's not
like.
us.
I always like to check the temperatures on the cartoon gangs. You feel me?
Oh, Looney Tunes.
Classic.
Yeah.
Let me take a sip before I ask my question. I don't need to comment off on this.
Okay, first of all, coffee makes your mouth drier.
For real?
Yeah.
Shit.
You about to be really dry.
Oh, shit. Fuck, I
learning
feel like
shit.
you just broke the fourth wall. Like, fuck, I did not know that. Wow. Wow.
He's
You guys
stressed
gonna
now.
see it too.
He's
You gonna hear it.
Fuck.
Anyways, ask your question since you
Yo,
hydrated now.
I did not know that.
You fake hydrated.
Yeah, it's watery, but damn.
Well, I guess that counts. The ice melted.
But I drink a lot of it, so I might get. It's cool. I fuck.
Cool.
You have a mantra in your Instagram bio. It's what is creative art? Creative of the intersect. Oh, I'm botching this. Art and creative of the intersection of spirituality, decolonization, and the story of or her story. What does that mean? Or can you expand on it?
So
I botched it, but
no, you
sorry.
good. You good. Basically, meaning that what I'm creating is at the intersection of her story, which would be my personal story. I'm a history nerd too, so that's where the decolonization portion comes in, and spirituality. Recently, my mom is hella spiritual, like not religious, but very spiritual. Like this lady meditates I don't even know how many times a day. So yeah, she teaches me a lot of stuff when it comes to spirituality, and I do too, like vice versa. I'm big on ancestors. People probably think, I don't know, some people don't really believe in that, but I really do believe that like my ancestors communicate with me in like different ways, especially through my art. Like sometimes I just be sitting there and like when I really get in the zone with like painting and stuff, like I'll just, again, don't judge me, don't think I'm crazy, but I'll like hear stuff in my head and that like words that I don't even know, things that I would never think of. Yeah. And it'll just pop into my head, and then it'll just have me go down a rabbit hole of learning history. And like, yeah, it's hella crazy because like I had found out through like my ancestors, like them sending me messages that like one of my great grandparents was a farmer. And then another one was like in the military. So I don't know if y'all know much about like Honduran history, but
I don't personally.
Okay, y'all need to do your research on that because I don't know if y'all have been aware about like, you know how like the U.S. is like, fuck Central Americans. Yeah. We're not giving y'all a safe haven here. It's because the U.S. destabilized those countries. Like they've done elsewhere. Yeah. They've gone, sucked up the resources, and then militarized the country, and then we're like, well, fuck y'all. We're not helping you guys. And that's what's happening now. It's like there's so much violence there because of poverty that y'all, you know, further gave rise to, you know, because y'all took everything. They monopolized the banana industry down there. Yeah. Yes. Anyways, other than that, my great-grandparents were heavily involved in that, like working on plantations, and like one of my, I don't know on which side of the family, but one of them was like, they had like soldiers like making sure that people don't steal shit and like just reinforcing the labor. And that one of my family members was on that end and the other one was working. Wow. But yeah, all types of crazy shit. So that's where all those things intersect. Yeah. And I feel like just like learning history has really helped me find an identity. I feel like for the longest time I was like, damn, I'm Honduran, but I don't really know what that means because we moved around so much. I didn't learn about our culture like that. Yeah. And so like recently I had to do my own research. I was like, if I learn about this history, I can understand the circumstances in which, you know, my bloodline has had to essentially exist in, right? Because that tells me about generational trauma and how my family got to where they are now. So, yeah.
And really not exist, but survive. Yes.
Yeah. My therapist told me this one line. What did she say? honor the circumstances in which you're expected to thrive in. Yeah. So.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Yes, thank you
Thank you for sharing that. I was.
Huh?
Oh
Where
my
are
god.
we?
I'm so sorry. You played the intro during. My hand's too big.
I'm dead.
Last week, Corey didn't run the boards. We interviewed him, so
Getting back to it. Getting back to it.
Wow, you better
Tighten up. I know.
don't fuck it up.
I'm sorry. So sorry. Fuck. You're. That was really amazing. That was amazingly insightful, and I wish I didn't botch the intro of it. Cause
You good? Go look on my Instagram, y'all. You'll see what he's talking about. Matter of fact, I'll read it from an episode since he was chopping it up.
you better talk to him.
Okay.
Nah, because that was really powerful, and I feel like
Pause. It's art/creations at the intersection of spirituality, decolonization, and her story.
smooth.
Beautiful.
That was smooth. Yeah. There's the applause with no intro in it.
Have you seen Pause with Sam J?
No.
Do you have HBO Max?
We got HBO Max.
Ooh. Ooh.
I think you would.
Keisha, first of all, Keisha chooses all the shit we watch. I do not have the patience to be like,
I know. You pauses top 5 shows that just came out.
is it funny?
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Historical, queer as fuck.
Queer as fuck. Yeah,
yo,
it's like a new.
really
It's like the best way I could describe it is if a queer person was running Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
I'm dead.
Yes.
So
Funny.
It's fire. It's clever. It's like, and it like has a point. Like, it's just not like we gonna just make all these
Right.
skits with no. It's like, and then she sums it up at the end, whichever whatever storyline she's attacking or talking about and bringing conversation to. It's like, it's literally the best shit on the internet or streamable top 5 shows.
Wow. How many episodes are there?
There's 4,
Currently 5.
5.
Oh, bet. We're about to
Yeah.
binge watch those.
No, I think you would appreciate it. You would love it. I love the way it's
First
shot.
of all, you got me at funny. And then you said queer. No, you didn't say queer. You said, what the hell did you say?
I said queer as fuck, but
No. Before the queer. Oh, the history.
Oh yes,
Informational.
yes.
And the queer shit. Like, what? Those are like 3 of my favorite things.
it's fire. It's like, even if it like, what, like, as a heterosexual man, even if it wasn't like whoever runs it, it's a great show. It just happens to have a layer of depth and a new like person in front of it. So it now adds more story and context to a side that I don't live. So, and she's just fucking brilliant. It's crazy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think produced and written by Sam J. So
Yeah.
the whole shit is like a shebang. It's going crazy.
Yep, I'm gonna hit y'all up and be like, this shit is hella I'm gonna put it on my story and be like, shout out to them too. They put me on.
Do you have anything you want to leave our viewers off with before we head out today? I know that was very vague.
Be kind to yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're drinking water. Stay hydrated. Take as many pauses throughout the day as you need to so that you can show up for yourself and then show up for others. That's it.
Beautiful. That was fucking amazing.
You've been grooving with the South. This is KWJT. We got Corey, Solana, Artspration.